Do you find yourself feeling overwhelmed and stressed when faced with challenging situations? In this video, we'll explore the teachings of Buddhism and how they can help you remain calm and collected, even in the midst of chaos. Lesson 1. Stay focused on what's happening now. Mindfulness is about paying attention to our present moment experience, without judgment or distraction. It's about being fully aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise and pass away, and learning to relate to them in a more skillful and compassionate way. For example, imagine that you're sitting in a meeting at work and you start to feel a sense of anxiety and tension in your body. If you're not mindful, you might simply react to this sensation by fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or zoning out. But if you're able to bring a sense of mindfulness to the situation, you might be able to pause, take a deep breath, and observe the sensation more closely. You might notice that it's located in your chest and stomach, and that it's accompanied by thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm going to mess up." By simply observing these thoughts and sensations without trying to change or suppress them, you're able to create a sense of space and clarity around them. You're able to see that they're just temporary and fleeting phenomena, and that they don't define who you are as a person. And as a result, you're able to respond to the situation in a more skillful and effective way, whether that means speaking up and sharing your ideas, or simply taking a moment to regroup and gather your thoughts. But cultivating mindfulness is not always easy, especially in our fast-paced and distracted world. That's why it's important to make a conscious effort to practice mindfulness on a regular basis, whether through formal meditation or informal mindfulness exercises throughout the day. By practicing this simple meditation for just a few minutes each day, you can begin to cultivate a sense of mindfulness and present moment awareness that can extend to all areas of your life. You might find that you're able to stay more focused and productive at work, or that you're able to enjoy and appreciate the simple pleasures of life more fully. Lesson 2. Pay attention to things around you. In Buddhism, the practice of paying attention to things around us is closely related to the concept of interdependence, or the understanding that all things are connected and dependent upon one another. When we are able to see the world through the lens of interdependence, we are able to cultivate a sense of appreciation and gratitude for the countless factors and conditions that have come together to make our lives possible. For example, when we eat a meal, we can take a moment to reflect on the farmers who grew the crops, the truck drivers who transported the food to the store, and the cooks who prepared the meal. We can also consider the sun, the rain, and the soil, which all played a role in the growth and nourishment of the food. By acknowledging and appreciating the interconnectedness of all things, we are able to cultivate a sense of humility and gratitude, and to let go of our sense of entitlement and selfishness. The practice of paying attention to things around us can also help us to develop a sense of mindfulness and presence. When we are fully engaged and present in the current moment, we are able to let go of our worries and anxieties about the future, and to find a sense of peace and contentment in the here and now. For example, when we are out for a walk, we can take a moment to notice the sights, sounds, and smells around us. We can feel the sensation of the ground beneath our feet and the sensation of the air on our skin. By fully immersing ourselves in the present moment, we are able to let go of our mental chatter and distractions, and to find a sense of calm and clarity. The practice of paying attention to things around us can also help us to cultivate a sense of compassion and empathy for others. When we are able to see and appreciate the struggles and challenges that others are facing, we are able to respond with kindness and understanding, rather than with judgment and criticism. For example, when we see someone who is homeless or struggling with addiction, we can take a moment to reflect on the countless factors and conditions that have contributed to their situation. We can consider the trauma and abuse they may have experienced, the lack of access to mental health care, and the societal and economic factors that have made it difficult for them to find stability and success. By acknowledging and appreciating the complexity and interdependence of all things, we are able to cultivate a sense of compassion and empathy, and to respond with love and support, rather than with anger and hostility. We can try incorporating a few simple habits and practices into our daily lives. For example, we can try taking a few moments each day to reflect on the things that we are grateful for, or to engage in a mindfulness practice, such as meditation or yoga. We can also try seeking out new and diverse experiences in order to broaden our perspectives and to cultivate a sense of appreciation and gratitude for the world around us. The practice of paying attention to things around us is a powerful and transformative tool for cultivating inner peace and well-being. By acknowledging and appreciating the interconnectedness of all things, we are able to let go of our sense of entitlement and selfishness, and to cultivate a sense of humility and gratitude. By fully immersing ourselves in the present moment, we are able to let go of our worries and anxieties about the future, and to find a sense of peace and contentment in the here and now. Lesson 3. Take control of your actions. In the face of pressure and stress, it's easy to feel like we are at the mercy of external circumstances, and that we have no control over our own lives. The teachings of Buddhism remind us that we always have the power to choose our own actions and reactions, and that this is the key to maintaining inner peace and well-being. Abstaining from harming living beings encourages us to cultivate compassion and kindness towards all beings, and to avoid causing harm or suffering to others, either through our actions or our words. Abstaining from stealing encourages us to be honest and trustworthy in our dealings with others, and to respect the property and belongings of others. Abstaining from sexual misconduct encourages us to be responsible and respectful in our sexual relationships, and to avoid causing harm or suffering to ourselves or others through sexual activity. Abstaining from lying encourages us to be truthful and sincere in our communication with others, and to avoid deceiving or misleading others through our words. Abstaining from intoxicants that lead to heedlessness encourages us to be mindful and aware of our own actions and their consequences, and to avoid using substances that impair our judgment or lead to harmful behavior. By following these precepts, we can create a sense of inner harmony and integrity, and we can avoid creating unnecessary suffering for ourselves and others. The practice of moral conduct goes beyond simply following a set of rules. It also involves cultivating a sense of mindfulness and awareness of our own actions and their consequences, and developing the wisdom and discernment to make skillful and compassionate choices in each moment. By cultivating moral conduct, we can develop a sense of inner strength and resilience that allows us to remain calm and composed under pressure. We can also create a sense of meaning and purpose in our lives and contribute to the well-being and happiness of others. Lesson 4. Trust in yourself. This sense of trust and confidence is not based on arrogance or ego, but rather on a deep understanding and acceptance of oneself. It is about recognizing and acknowledging our own strengths and weaknesses, and learning to work with them in a skillful and compassionate way. When we are able to be mindful, we are able to observe our own thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise and pass away. This helps us to develop a greater sense of self-awareness and to understand the patterns and tendencies of our own minds. For example, we may notice that we tend to react impulsively in certain situations, or that we have a habit of dwelling on negative thoughts and emotions. By becoming aware of these patterns and tendencies, we are able to take a step back and to choose a more skillful and compassionate response. The practice of vipassana, or insight meditation, can also be helpful in cultivating a sense of trust and confidence in oneself. In vipassana meditation, we are invited to observe the impermanent and interdependent nature of all phenomena, including our own thoughts, feelings, and sensations. This practice can help us to develop a greater sense of perspective and understanding, and to recognize that we are not defined or limited by our thoughts and emotions. We are able to see that these are simply temporary and fleeting experiences, and that we have the capacity and freedom to choose how we respond to them. We can also try surrounding ourselves with positive and supportive influences, and seeking out the guidance and mentorship of those who have experience and wisdom to share. And perhaps most importantly, we can try to be kind and compassionate towards ourselves, and to recognize that we are all works in progress, and that it is okay to make mistakes, and to learn and grow from them. Lesson 5. Stay positive in your thoughts. When we are able to maintain a positive and hopeful outlook, even in the face of adversity, we are able to maintain a sense of inner peace and well-being. We are also able to attract more positive experiences and opportunities into our lives. First, it's important to recognize that our thoughts and emotions are not permanent or fixed, but rather, they are constantly changing and evolving. In Buddhism, this concept is known as anicca, or impermanence, and it is one of the 3 marks of existence. When we are able to understand and accept the impermanence of our thoughts and emotions, we are able to let go of our attachment to them and to cultivate a sense of inner peace and equanimity. One way to cultivate a positive mindset is to practice positive affirmations. Affirmations are simple, positive statements that we can repeat to ourselves, either silently or out loud, to help shift our mindset and perspective. For example, if you are feeling anxious or overwhelmed, you can try repeating the affirmation, "I am calm and capable. I can handle whatever comes my way." Or if you are feeling down or discouraged, you can try repeating the affirmation, "I am worthy and deserving of love and happiness. I am on the right path." Another way to cultivate a positive mindset is to surround yourself with positive and uplifting influences. This can include spending time with supportive and encouraging friends and family, reading inspiring books or articles, or listening to motivational podcasts or music. In Buddhism, the concept of sangha, or spiritual community, is considered one of the 3 refuges, or sources of protection and guidance on the spiritual path. By surrounding ourselves with a supportive and uplifting spiritual community, we are able to cultivate a sense of connection, belonging, and positivity. It's also important to be mindful of our own self-talk, or the way that we speak to and about ourselves. In Buddhism, the concept of right speech is one of the Eightfold Path, or the path to enlightenment. Right speech includes not only speaking kindly and truthfully to others, but also to ourselves. When we are able to speak to ourselves with kindness, compassion, and understanding, we are able to cultivate a sense of inner peace and positivity. On the other hand, when we are harsh, critical, or judgmental towards ourselves, we are able to create a sense of inner turmoil and negativity. In Buddhism, the concept of right effort is one of the Eightfold Path, and it includes not only making an effort to cultivate a positive mindset, but also to take practical and concrete steps to address and resolve the challenges that we are facing. For example, if you are feeling overwhelmed and stressed at work, it's important to not only cultivate a positive mindset, but also to take practical steps to address the situation, such as delegating tasks, setting boundaries, or seeking out support and guidance from a supervisor or mentor. It's important to remember that cultivating a positive mindset is not about ignoring or denying the difficulties and challenges that we are facing, but rather, it's about approaching them with a sense of resilience, determination, and hope. When we are able to approach the challenges that we are facing with a sense of equanimity, we are able to maintain a sense of inner peace and positivity, and to find the strength and resilience to overcome them. Lesson 6. Grow your confidence. In Buddhism, the practice of virya, or effort and diligence, is considered one of the 5 spiritual faculties, and it is essential for the development of inner confidence and self-assuredness. When we are able to approach life with a sense of curiosity and enthusiasm, and to continually strive to improve and better ourselves, we are able to cultivate a deep sense of trust and belief in our own abilities. Firstly, it's important to understand that confidence is not the same as arrogance or self-centeredness. In Buddhism, true confidence is rooted in a sense of humility and compassion, and it is based on a realistic and accurate assessment of our own strengths and weaknesses. To grow our confidence, we must first be willing to acknowledge and accept our own limitations and imperfections. This can be difficult, as we often have a tendency to cling to a fixed and idealized image of ourselves, and to resist or deny any information that contradicts this image. But as the Buddhist master, Shunryu Suzuki, once said, "In the beginner's mind there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind there are few." By cultivating a beginner's mind, or a willingness to learn and grow, we are able to let go of our attachment to a fixed and limited sense of self, and to open ourselves up to new and unexpected possibilities. Once we have acknowledged and accepted our own limitations and imperfections, we can then begin to focus on our strengths and abilities. In Buddhism, this practice is known as bhavana, or mental cultivation, and it involves deliberately and systematically directing our thoughts and attention in a positive and constructive way. To cultivate our strengths and abilities, we can try setting and working towards personal goals, or seeking out new and challenging experiences and opportunities. We can also try reflecting on our past achievements and accomplishments, and reminding ourselves of the skills and qualities that we have already developed. As we cultivate our strengths and abilities, it's important to remember that true confidence is not based on a sense of superiority or invulnerability. This kind of confidence is known as upadana, or grasping, and it is considered a form of delusion and attachment. True confidence, on the other hand, is based on a sense of interdependence and connection. This kind of confidence is known as dependent origination, and it is based on the understanding that all things are interconnected and interdependent, and that our own well-being and happiness is intimately linked to the well-being and happiness of others. To cultivate our confidence, we must be willing to embrace and accept the impermanence of life, and to recognize that our own sense of self-worth and value is not dependent on any external or fixed conditions. By cultivating a beginner's mind, focusing on our strengths, abilities, and embracing the impermanence of life, we can develop the inner strength and resilience to weather any storm and to live a life of peace, happiness, and fulfillment. By cultivating mindfulness, appreciation, moral conduct, faith, a positive mindset, and effort, we can develop the inner strength and resilience to weather any storm. May you all be blessed with peace, happiness, and success in all your endeavors. Namaste.